If I'm president, I will have that war settled in one day, 24 hours. Within 24 hours, that war will be settled. It'll be over.
Hamas and Putin represent different threats, but they share this in common.
I want everybody to stop dying.
Something serious just happened and no one is talking about it, not even the Western medias don't want to talk about it. Especially when everyone there have just focused on what is happening in Israel and Palestine. Vladimir Putin have done something more crazy in Ukraine that will change everything for the US gaming. Vladimir Putin have just drawn a red line that will change everything for the US game because he's now in control of everything that the USA never want to see him taking control over it. In fact, Putin's move is the biggest impact things that he have done since this war had started in Ukraine. I'm gonna tell you about that just in a little bit, but before that, I want you to know that United States of America is preparing for a war in the Middle East because they want to attack Iran. According to the US National Security, the United States of America have just announced the arrival of submarine in the Middle East. Guys, do you know what does that mean? Do you have any idea what does that mean? This is a World War III that we're about to experience. When they're busy doing all this, at the same time, they're busy giving the middle finger to the Ukraine president. And this middle finger, the Ukrainian president Zelensky did not take it well. He had to come back and lash it out on the USA when he said this.
I'm again repeating, and I'm repeating in these 2 years. If it will be not enough for them, it will not be enough. Because Syria was not enough. They began in Ukraine. After Ukraine, in the Middle East, they will continue their plan.
What the hell was that even mean? I'm sorry I don't smoke drugs, but guys, listening to this man, I mean, the man is fed up. He's here now. The man, he have opened up actually his mind, his eyes. He have now understand that no, he's been used by the West. He's been used by NATO. He's been used by the US. They came to him proposing or promising him a paradise, saying that no, look, we're gonna protect you against Vladimir Putin. They're never gonna do nothing. They're never gonna touch you as long as we're here. The next things, they disappear.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky avoided the subject of American politics and the billions of dollars in funding his country did not get. Barely more than a week ago, Zelensky faced Congress in person, said Ukraine needs more aid to avoid Russian defeat. In Washington, President Biden pushed Congress to get Ukraine aid back on track.
Look at me. We're going to get it done.
Do you know why? Because the US Pentagon have admitted that the funding for Ukraine, it has all dried. There's nothing left. In our previous video, I told you that the reason why these people are shifting away from the Ukraine, it is more obvious because Ukraine is not like one of African country. If Ukraine had gold, if Ukraine had diamond, if Ukraine had all this kind of mineral that we get to see in Africa countries, I believe they were not going to go anywhere. They were going to still founding Ukraine until the end because they know that they were going to be busy looting Ukraine, benefiting from Ukrainian mineral. But unfortunately, Ukraine does not have mineral. So it is all Africa countries which they see that they have to benefit a lot. Now that they sit in Ukraine and they can't find much, they decided to leave. They did not want even to last there because they don't have money anymore. So you see that they are taking the funding from Ukraine, not for them to keep it or try to help people of America who are suffering over there. Instead, they're taking this funding in order for them to go and sponsor the new conflict or war that they are preparing in the Middle East. The money that they used to give to Ukraine is the money that they are now using to give Israel in order for Israel to make Palestine perish forever. That is their missions, and we all know that. Wow. Holy shit. How do they do all this like Kardashian?
There's issues that I have.
So these people, they've realized that they spend billions of money already in Ukraine, but they're not benefiting anything. And this time, they had promised to give at least 400 millions to Ukraine so that they will go continue fighting Vladimir Putin with Russia. But you know what the Pentagon did? They even lower it to 125 millions. Do you know what will happen next? They'll definitely stop everything because they are now running out of money to give people of Ukraine. The news in the past week says that according to the Western leaders, they are getting tired of Zelensky. They think that Zelensky have become a crying baby. But how can you say that Zelensky have becoming a crying baby if you are the one who's been encouraging him to cry even more louder? We all know that it was the USA who was founding even more money compared to these other NATO nations. The USA, I told you that they had given hundreds and hundreds of billions. But the NATO countries, which is the England, France, Belgium, all of them, combining them together, they only give 27 billion. This 27 billions is the one that former President Donald Trump had criticized and tried to waken up people of America, telling them that you guys are busy spending a lot of money. You're allowing Joe Biden to spend as much as he wants when people of America are not benefiting from all this.
You know what I'll say? I'll say this. I want Europe to put up more money because they're in for 20 billion, we're in for 170, and they should be, and they should equalize. They have plenty of money. They should equalize. I want Europe.
What's happening in Ukraine, Mr.
I want
President.
Europe to put up more money because they're laughing at us. They think we're a bunch of jerks. We're spending $170 billion for faraway land, and they're right next door to that land, and they're in for 20. I don't think so.
He had even to say that Joe Biden is making Ukrainian politicians becoming even more rich with all this money. That's one I totally agree with him. Knowing politicians the way they are, obviously a lot of politicians in Ukraine, they've become billionaires as well. Because guys, every time when there is money, the way they will share that money, obviously you're not going to have an idea. That's why you see some politicians, they'll be busy investing in different businesses. Some they'll be buying companies or properties because they're getting an easy money, which is more compared to what they're getting as a salary. There's no doubt about that, because we even saw one of the Ukrainian politicians, he had to prove how rich he is by throwing a very beautiful birthday party to his daughter, showering him with money, throwing all this money before the daughter left with one of the most expensive Mercedes. That is politicians for you. They can do everything. They take advantage. So the money that the USA is busy leaving their citizens suffering over the tax money of the people of America is being used to make other people become rich. It's being used to make someone's daughter have the most birthday party. Can't you ask yourself a simple question to know where comes all this money? Where comes who's throwing all this money like this? If they have to go and follow his father to know how much he earns per month as his salary or per year, I doubt he will have this enough money to be throwing it in the air like this. Now, with this being said, don't you think that this is the right time to talk about peace? Don't you think so? Well, with that being said, the United States just shocked the world this week when he had to call for a peace. Instead, they even go far saying that there is no way that Zelensky with Ukraine will win this war. So the United States of America, the most powerful nation in the world, they are now realizing that they were not dealing with a small nation. I had said it before. Perhaps by then, most of you never believe in what we're saying, what we're giving you in our analysis. When I says that this war will last for long, because United States is not fighting with a small nation. United States is not fighting with one of African countries where they'll come and impose their leadership, putting their puppet president over there and try to put conflict in order for them to loot the mineral of this one of African countries. No. Instead, they were dealing with Russia, because Russia is also known as one of the most powerful nations. So now they are realizing that Ukraine is not going to win this war, because they have just realized that, no, we spend a lot of money, but we are not winning the battle. And we keep spending, but we are not even benefiting nothing. Instead, Russia is still there fighting. So they did a simple mathematics, which I always do to you, that they'll have to sit down and realize that we have been putting all our power together with NATO nations, yet we can't defeat Russia. Russia was fighting by themselves. They don't have the support of anyone in the world. Each and every country that tried to support Russia, we saw how the USA have to go and threaten all these nations, telling them that they will impose their sanction on them. So Russia, they've been fighting on their own, but yet they could not be able to defeat them. So they are asking for peace. They want Zelensky to go and negotiate for peace. On other side, guys, we're having Zelensky who don't want to negotiate for peace anymore, because Zelensky just feel like he's being betrayed. They betray him by coming to him, putting him in trouble, damaging up the whole Ukraine, killing innocent people over there. And the next things, the same people who are supposed to be helping you to win the battle, they are coming back and telling you that, no, dude, we can't sponsor you anymore. We can't give you the funding anymore. You have to go and negotiate for peace. With peace, at least, maybe you'll be able to survive. But otherwise, Russia will come and wipe you off. And Zelensky don't want to do that. Instead, you know what he did? He even canceled the elections that are supposed to be taking place.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Vladimir Putin have off guard the USA where they did not expected him to act. First of all, Vladimir Putin have signed a new law that will stop the testing of a nuclear bomb. That simply means to say that Vladimir Putin can launch the nuclear bomb at any time without giving a warning, or like this is kind of like a threat of trying to massacre millions of people if you want to. Because according to the previous law, in order for you to even activate the nuclear bomb, you need first to do some testing on somewhere, maybe in the bush or maybe in the forest or in the water, like we usually see with this short man from North Korea, the way he usually like to test his nuclear bombs and the different weapons that they've been fabricating over there. So as we're talking right now, Vladimir Putin, he don't have that option anymore. He can attack at any time and no one will come and talk about it. After Putin had signed for this new law, according to what they had put in their official website, they said that this new law was taken serious and they activated with an immediate effect. They did not even wait at all. They apply it immediately. So as we're talking right now, the new law is being already activated. Just imagine that. But wait a minute. Isn't it that the Western media, they had said last week that Vladimir Putin was dead?
Russia's President Vladimir Putin has suffered a suspected cardiac arrest. The Russian leader was found by guards on the floor of the bedroom rolling his eyes.
Okay, wait a minute. This is what I always tell you, right? They always want you to see what they are putting on their screen because they don't want you to know the truth, because they don't want you to know what the world is, how things are happening in the world. They want to distract you with what they want to show you. You see? So when they're busy distracting people, lying that Vladimir Putin is dead or he had some stroke, in the meantime, Vladimir Putin is busy doing something bigger that the world never even expected. So since Russia have succeeded to activate this new law, that simply means to say that Vladimir Putin, he can launch this nuclear bomb at any time. That is something that Russia never done since 1990, but it's about to happen today in our daily time. Not long ago, we saw Russia coming out with Vladimir Putin saying that, okay, since all the Western power through NATO nations, they have put their power together, supporting Ukraine and attacking us and putting fire on us, well, we have to defend ourselves with everything that we have in our possession. And one of the things that the Russia government, they've been counting on, it is these nuclear bombs. These nuclear weapons, it is one of the things that we know if they have to launch one of it here, we're talking about millions of people who will have to die at once. A nuclear bomb is more different to the airstrike or these jets that we are seeing that's busy bombarding there in Palestine. So Russia knew already that, no, look, we are nuclear and we have to defend ourselves. And by the time we do this, all these NATO nations, they'll throw their guns and they'll just run away. And we're at this point as we're talking right now, since Russia president have signed for this new law to take place. Because we are talking about the nuclear bombs. And when this happens, guys, trust me, you're not going to have any idea. Do you guys remember for the fact that Russia president had announced and saying that, no, we'll have to defend with everything that we have in our hands. We have to make sure that we use our nuclear bombs. Guys, you saw some of these NATO nations soldiers who have to go and pee on military vehicles.
А говорили, натовская не горит.
Горит. Горит так, что хер потушишь.
What about when he went in China? Putin was seen with some generals holding the nuclear diplomats which had the code of nuclear bombs. That's something that you don't just see it for fun. But these are the things showing that Putin is even more determined. He's taking a very big step ahead of the USA when they're trying to distract the world with what is happening in Gaza and Palestine. Putin is busy showing that no, he's taking the actions. It's either going to take the whole Ukraine or either Zelensky have to go and beg in their knees in order for Putin to forgive them. Was that all? No, I don't think so. Because Russia, last week again, had given a middle finger to the United States of America when he defied the UN by telling Iran that he's going to start giving them missiles in order for them to defend themselves. We all know that the United States of America, they want to engage in a war with Iran. And when Iran they're still trying to put their power together, Russia is already standing there as their first partner to support them. I once said in one of my videos that the day Russia will get a chance to hurt the United States of America will do it so, because they can see that the United States of America, they came in Ukraine and support people of Ukraine in order for them to defeat Russia. So now, in this world of today, if there is any country which want to go ahead and fight the United States of America and they want to get help from Russia, Russia will give it to them. So the USA want to go to the war with Iran, and the Congress have just given the power to Joe Biden in order for him to active this war.
Are introducing a bipartisan sense of the Senate resolution tomorrow about Iran. Senator Graham, what will it say?
Well, it basically says if the war expands, if Hezbollah opens up a second front in the north against Israel in a substantial way to overwhelm Iron Dome, then we should hit the Islamic Republic of Iran.
All this is happening. And Russia, they're like, no, look, we're going to supply Iran. We're not afraid of anyone. And we don't think that we're violating any UN rules. Because if that was the case, then they should go and first and start condemning the United States of America for supplying a lot of missiles to all these nations that they've been doing around the world. That was a statement which the Russia military force minister had announced. So they are going to support Iran, whether the USA like it or not, whether the United Nations approve it or not. They don't care. And then on the other side, we are seeing Israel planting their flags in Gaza, saying that they are going to take this land. They believe that this land now belongs to them. Was that all? No, guys. What about them attacking the hospital? Saying that no, this hospital is where Gaza, they are busy hiding themselves. They've been using it by Gaza terrorists. That is how these people, how crazy they are and how far they want to go. They went there, they commit serious crime, killing innocent people in that hospital. So they are busy targeting all the churches, all the hospitals, all the places where innocent people are supposed to be found, in order for them looking for this so-called Gaza terrorist group. When they are doing all this, Iran on the other side is like, no, don't rush. That's very quick. You are rushing for nothing, because we are preparing to attack as well. So, which means, since Iran, they are with people of Palestine, they are going to have a serious war over there in the Middle East. When now this is taking place, the godfather, which is the US, who's been busy putting a lot of trouble in all these nations in the Middle East. Do you know what happened in America? We're now having a verbal smackdown over there in the House. Two senators who are busy exchanging, who want to fight.
If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution, every poll?
No, sit down. Sit down. You know, you're a United States Senator.
Was that all? Nope. A lot of dramas, as we're talking right now, in the United States of America, among themselves. The Republicans and the other side, they're busy fighting. Some they're in supporting for this war. Some they don't even want to support it. Some they feel like, no, the taxpayer money of people of the USA is being spent for nothing. And the people of US, they are not getting enough support from the government that's supposed to help them to become even a better nation. So you kind of like leaving your own house, going out there, putting troubles in other people's home, bringing instability, destroying other nations' economy, and expecting that your country will be at peace. It's not going to be at peace. That's now you see that the devil is using them. They're fighting among themselves. Guys, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. I mean, this is kind of drama that we are seeing every time that the USA decides to do their business with other nations, or they try to touch some things around the world. We're expecting this kind of things. Do us a favor before you leave. Make sure that you hit that like button, give us your thumbs up. We really do appreciate. If this is your first time to watch our videos, you just have to click that subscribe button, so that whenever we are live on this channel, you get to receive notification on time, so that you can join this big family. Above all, be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next episode. Ciao, ciao.